Hi, I'm Jisoo and welcome to yet another Remnant 2 video. This build that we're going to go through today has the potential to become the strongest build in Remnant 2, and I made sure, this is very important, I made sure to not use anything which could potentially get nerfed in the future. That's very important because there's no point in making a video today which is going to become obsolete like in like a week or two. So if anything, everything I'm using in this video could potentially become buffed in the future. So let's dive into it. I unlocked the Spar Bloom, that weapon after my Apocalypse completion, but people told me because the game was bugged, the rewards were bugged, this weapon showed up after my Apocalypse run, but it should be after you beat the game on Veteran that you get this weapon. And I gotta say, initially when I used the weapon, I didn't think it was worth it. I swear to God, I used it once or twice and I didn't think it was viable for two reasons. In this game, enemies tend to be very mobile, and sometimes you have some flying enemies and they tend to stay away from you. So I didn't see the usefulness of having a shotgun in a game like this one, like at all. And you can see that whenever I'm trying to hit targets which are far away, I'm still hitting the targets, but the damage is just laughable compared to, let's say, if I was just standing right here. Like, this is the kind of damage I should be expecting, but because targets are very far away, I feel like some projectiles are getting scattered, so not every single bullet which is released is actually hitting the target. That's what this build is about. It's going to take a lot of effort to make sure that every single projectile is actually converging to a single point. So the first thing we want to do is to actually, let's get a look on the archetypes. We have two choices, but I would strongly advise having the Hunter class as your first one. Mostly because whenever you deal 50 base damage, I mean, you can see with the prime perk, it's going to extend the duration of your perk, which is this one, the Hunter's Focus. It is a very good one, and I'm going to show you why in a bit. But when it comes to the second archetype, the only reason why I'm using the Gunslinger is because of the ammo reserve. Because this, you only have 31 bullets with this gun, and you tend to run out of ammo. I mean, you only have 30 because you're using the archetype, the Gunslinger archetype. Let me show you what happens when you remove this one. You only have 21 now, and 21 is kind of crazy, especially if you don't get ammo from enemies. So yeah, that's mostly why I tend to gravitate toward having the Gunslinger here, but you can just come in the trade section and increase your ammo reserve. But if you don't want to use the Gunslinger archetype, all you have to do is go to the Challenger archetype and get this perk, this kill, Rampage. Either, if you want to go for pure damage, that's what I would do, and if you want to go for damage but still be, you don't want to go and spend some points in trades and get ammo reserve, I would strongly advise just getting you do what you want to do, but it's either Gunslinger or Challenger. But let's say you go for Challenger, right? Oh wait, what am I doing? I want the Hunter first here, and I want Rampage here. So second thing I want to show you is a little secret. It's going to get nerfed most definitely, but I found a way to benefit from having 4 concoction buffs active at the same time without using the Alchemist archetype. Let me show you. So first, you want to, the one concoction I want to use is this one, the Tranquility Form, because it's going to decrease your spread by 35%. It's very important, but if you can get all 4 concoctions active at the same time, why not do that? It's pretty simple. First, you want to equip the Alchemist archetype, because right now the prime perk allows me to have 3 additional concoctions buff active at the same time. So let's do that. Let's start drinking. First, this one, that's 1, and because As you can see in my trace, I don't tend to use vigor or endurance anymore because I feel like the better you get at the game, the less you tend to use them. And in Apocalypse, I don't feel like they matter, so I tend to not use them at all. So here, we're going to increase our armor by 30. And also, why not just decrease our skill cooldown by 10%? And lastly, we want to get some health regen. It's up to you. It's up to you what you want to do, but the only thing you really need is this one. Keep in mind, the only thing you need is the Tranquility Font, and everything else is just, it's forgettable. So, let's go for this one. And what you want to do right now is to die. So we're going to just, YOLO. There we go. We're dead. And immediately after you come back, you want to switch back to the Hunter archetype. And you're going to see that something amazing is going to happen. When you change to the Hunter archetype, guess what? All 4 of those concoctions are still active. That's actually amazing. It's definitely 100% going to get nerfed. So that's why I said that the only thing you need is this one. But if you want to go crazy for the time being, I mean, don't tell anybody. I feel like if you don't tell people about it, they're not going to notice it. So keep it on the low. Anyway, that's 4 concoctions active. And you're going to see immediately that our spread is slowly getting reduced. See? It's very slowly. See? Is very slowly getting reduced and our projectiles are hitting the target, but we're not done yet. The next order of business is going to be to equip our relic, and my relic, as you can see, has 3 fragments, and this one is going to reduce my spread by another 30%. Let's see what happens now. This is what I want your, I think it's called your reticle, to look like. Just like a little dot. That dot means that every single projectile is going to hit the target. Let me show you. Yeah, I think I was hitting for 800 damage, and now we are looking at, let me see, all the way to 3400 damage. That's huge. And keep in mind that all I did was, yes, add some weak spot damage and some range critical damage, but no, the one thing which really matters now is the fact that all our projectiles are hitting the target, and it's going to be relevant whenever you are fighting enemies from afar. It means that you don't have to worry about flying enemies or like being, I feel like nobody is going to be that far away. Even Annihilation, you'll be able to hit that boss from that far away. This is huge, and it gets even better. It gets better. So I'm going to stay right here. This is where we're going to test the build. I'm going to show you the armor is irrelevant as long as you are in the green, or I tend to even be in yellow. It really doesn't matter. You wear whatever you want to wear. I just wear this because it looks the coolest. So this amulet is goated. It is actually amazing, but I figured not many people may have it. So in case you don't have it, you have 2 choices. Either you go for this, Daredevil's Charm, or you go for what many people will probably have, the Ink of Power, which is a guarantee 15% more damage all the time. And it goes all the way to 30% if you consume a relic. So it's either the Ink of Power, the Daredevil's Charm, or the Necklace of Supremacy. So it's up to you what to decide, but I'm going to settle for this for now. It's going to give us consistent results. So if you see what this can do, then you're going to see what other amulets can also do. When it comes to the rings, I'm going to go for the probability code because it increases our crit damage by 30%. Then Xenia's Malice, every time we hit, we deal weak spot damage, is going to increase our weak spot damage by 10% up to 30% for 7 seconds. And that's the thing is, as long as you keep hitting those weak spots, the timer is going to be reset every single time. So you will never stop benefiting from this ring's advantage. Then the burden of the destroyer is going to decrease the ideal range of all firearms by 25% and also increase all damage dealt by 15%. And right now I think our overall damage is sitting at 37%, which is very good. And lastly, the Stone of Balance increases all damage by 7%. The only downside about this build is the fact that we won't be using our mode power that much, which is unfortunate because I gotta be honest, this mode power kinda sucks. The spell shots, it is, wait, what am I doing? No. It kinda sucks. It doesn't suck against, normal enemies, but against bosses, it kinda sucks. So, yikes. When it comes to our other weapon, I'm using the rune pistol, which may also be a pain in the ass to acquire because I think it requires you to get something to Nimue. I forgot, but it slowly became my favorite sidearm weapon, handgun weapon in the game, and the soul brand sucks. it's not that it's bad, but against bosses that's basically useless, and it could be useful when you're fighting mob, but again, like those two mod power are not great, and you can use whatever weapon you use, whatever handgun you want as your secondary. Sometimes Meridian is a great option, but I tend to use a rune pistol because I can also equip Twisted Wounds, and Twisted Wounds is a great choice, especially for this build. You can deal damage over time to enemies, and that's amazing. So, this is the build. The Hunter, I'm going to go for Hunter's Focus, and that's it. So, let me show you what happens when okay, I need to die so that my cooldown gets reset, but let me show you what happens when this build works. I'm going to show you here, and then I'm going to show you in Apocalypse. And I made sure that this build will work in Apocalypse because I think that's where people are headed. They beat Survivor, Veteran, and they want to get to the next level. And I think this game has a lot more to offer. It's going to offer a lot more in the future, maybe even more difficulties, and this is going to be the answer for everything they throw at us. So, first of all, this is the base damage which you should be expecting, right? Medium range, 3400 damage, and this is without the crit damage. I really want the crit to happen, but I feel like it's not going to happen. I'm not lucky. Okay, see, 7,000 damage in one hit. That's what you should expect from, and this is without activating anything. We're not benefiting from any skill whatsoever, but just look at what happens when we actually do. First, you want to activate Rampage, and then Hunter's Focus. And when that happens, you're going to slowly build up that Rampage, and when it's maxed out, it's actually insane. So, 9,000, we're going up slowly but surely. Soon we're going to hit 10k. Another, I think we're pretty close. It takes less time when you're fighting. See, there you go. It takes less time when we are fighting actual enemies, but here in training, I feel like it doesn't work. Okay, there we go. So now I feel like we deal way more damage here. 13,000 damage. That's insane. That's insane. That's actually crazy. I don't need to tell you why that's insane, but yeah, you're going to eat that health bar really fast. And something else I forgot to mention is that some bosses have, I think they call them affix. Whenever you see spiteful, vicious, elemental resist, you will ignore all those things because the damage you deal is like direct. I feel like it's physical. It's not physical damage, but it's not elemental damage either. It's the same as bleed. Bleed is like a status effect, so it doesn't count as elemental damage. So you can be sure that you're going to deal a lot of damage, which is, oh mama, it's actually crazy. And if you want to take things a little bit further and be like very annoying, you're going to do this. But I guess not many people are going to have this amulet, but let's just see what it does. Just for the fun of it. It's a risky build. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very risky build, and at this point, I feel like everything can kill you in one hit. So let's go crazy and use that ring, which nobody should use ever. Yeah, this one. So I think the max we hit was 13,000, right? I think so. So let's go. Okay, let's see what happens now. So right off the bat, we're already at 8,000 damage, which is really good, and we're going fast. I feel like we're going to settle at 15,000 damage. That would be my guess. Rampage is going to happen very soon. Oh, we did not hit. Ooh, we didn't hit 15,000, but 14,000 is still a lot. And this is despite every single. I mean, what am I drinking? Okay, it doesn't matter because I don't have my. Okay, so basically that's what you should expect. That's why I tend to use. I feel like this one, if you really don't get hit, this one is your best bet. But if you do get hit often, then the Ink of Power is going to give you that 15% increased damage all the time, which is very, very good. So that's the build, and I'm going to show you multiple multiple instances where it actually slaps, you know, and using the Gunslinger is going to allow you to reload faster. Something you should keep in mind: this weapon without the Slayer. The Slayer Mutator, he reloads very slow, and not only will this allow you to reload 15% faster, but it's going to increase your you can see that it's going to increase the next shot by 20%. And because this is like a one shot type of weapon, every time you shoot is going to increase in power the next shot by 20%. So I feel like for this weapon specifically, Slayer is the best option. Now I'm going to use this opportunity to tell you more about this build and how to make the most out of it. And obviously, whenever you hit enemies' weak spots, it's going to benefit you plenty. But sometimes some enemies do not have weak spots, or they only have weak spots for some, like a very short amount of time. If this is the case, you could still use the bow, you know, the bow mod, which is going to create and attach a weak spot onto the enemy, and it's going to make your life easier, because if the enemy does not have a weak spot, it's going to take the fight it's just going to take much longer, or something you don't want. Even with this build, which is like you saw the damage is ridiculous, but without a weak spot, the fight is just going to take way longer, and that's very annoying. The second thing is, you may have noticed that I did not go for vigor or stamina or even regrowth, and the truth is, if you play the cards right in this game, you will not have to heal, or even if you get hit, I didn't see a significant advantage when it comes to having 30 vigor as opposed to not having it. And honestly, most attacks in this game, especially when it comes to projectiles, can be avoided by just moving left or right. So that's why I try to prioritize something like movement speed, or movement speed while aiming downside. You know, I feel like this is way more important and reliable than having 30 vigor. But it all comes down to you and what you want to do. But I strongly advise trying to step away from, you know, those traits, as they are waste. Honestly, I think they are waste. Something like Baskin or Fortify, or even Ammo Reserve sometimes is way more. You're going to see the usefulness way often than using something like Vigor. Something which is also amazing about this build is the fact that it's not limited to Spore Bloom. You can use even bows, especially bows. Bows are amazing with this build because it all comes down to how much damage you can deal in a single shot. And using bows exactly, it's almost the same as using Spore Bloom. And I've had some amazing results with that other bow, which name I forgot. The name you get from Nimoy, I think, whenever you interact with her while she's sleeping. And that bow is amazing, especially when you trigger the mod. And that's the one thing I really love about that bow. I don't like using spore blooms mod, especially in close distance, because you may die, which is something to keep in mind. You can die because it's some kind of explosion. But the bow, the bow is amazing. The bow is honestly amazing and fun to use, and I just love it. So keep in mind, it is not limited to Spore Bloom, and you are free to experience and see what works for you, and that's amazing. That's the beauty of it. So that's it. And things to keep in mind, well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, because I feel like as of right now, this build is already amazing. It deals a lot of damage, and sometimes it's going to make your Apocalypse run trivial. And if you use this build in a difficulty such as Veteran or Survivor, you're going to maybe potentially, depending on how lucky you can get, you can sometimes just kill bosses in 4 shots, sometimes less. It depends on whether or not you get those crit damage, and if you are lucky, well, you know, the boss is going to go down very, very fast. It's not even it's not even funny. So I feel like the whole build is trying to reduce the spread as much as you can. And once the spread is reduced, you know, you can hit targets from anywhere. So I guess this is the story of how I turned a shotgun into a rifle, basically. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and you can expect more videos in the future. The one I'm working on right now is a healer or support type of build, because it's not always about the damage, it's also about, you know, the help you can provide and the friends you can make along the way. So don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm all ears when it comes to giving me some insights when it comes to how to increase or, you know, enhance the effectiveness of the build. And yeah, I'll see you around. Peace.